cooking, dude.
We're testing parts and racing rush cars. We're renting the rush car to Francis, Quebec drifter. He's driven a 1600 Formula car and he races a Miata, so he should be pretty quick. It's cold. I got my hoodie on under my race suit, and this is probably the last time we're racing other than ice for the rest of the year, and we're ready to go on track, so gotta go. Oh, the sweater just adds that extra bit of width to make everything just a little bit tighter.
Yellow group is on track right now. Yellow group is on track.
What do you see?
Nothing.
On the rear of the car that we're testing.
The BRZ? It's got all of our new rear racing arms, including the upper control arms, which I'm really excited about. It took 4 or 5 years of attempts at making it. And whenever you consider making something like the upper for these cars, you have to take into consideration ease. Like, we did build a set, and we actually gave them to Cam, who owns that 8-to-1 BRZ FRS that he took to SEMA. We built a set, but they were too difficult to build, so the margin for profit was not there. So several attempts resulted in what we have here, and what I believe is the best set of upper control arms available on the market compared to any other company. There's several reasons for that.
All right, so we are going to be changing the upper control arm on this BRZ. We have designed a new design that fixes all of the issues with these arms in the OEM configuration. Strong, lightweight, it's actually much lighter than the factory arm. Axle clearance, which is a big thing. You lower these cars and the axle start cranking the control arm. Fixes all that geometry and just makes it easily adjustable. It's so easy to adjust the camber now with our smooth adjuster, so we're going to show you how to put the arm in. A couple tricks and tips for putting the arm in, because it is a bit tight to get in there. So let's go ahead and start removing the factory arm. So we're going to knock off the wheel speed sensor harness. You can leave the bracket on the OEM arm because we're going to reuse these little rubber grommets, so just put this off to the side. These are super sensitive too, so don't like hit it or break it and then the car goes in limp mode and it gets very angry. And we are onto the inner bolts, which these are the pain in the butt ones. And of course it's a Canadian car, so everything is very rusty. This is a 17 mil bolt and nut, and the bolts go in from the inside. Good luck getting them from the outside, so it should be pretty obvious to put them back the way they came out. But they are different lengths, so pay attention. The front one is the shorter one, and the rear one is the longer one. Now this one's a little bit trickier. Found the best way to get to it was actually with an extension and a 17 mil shorty from the backside of the frame. Now, if you got a factory muffler on it, might be a pain in the butt, but there is like barely enough room to get in there. You can take your heat shield off, but we don't need ours, so I just kind of moved it out of the way. But yeah, factory muffler might make this a bit difficult. As you can see, back one is longer, so don't mess that up. Now that we've got the arms essentially unbolted, the ABS sensor's off, now we can take a long punch or extension, and then to get this ball joint out of the knuckle, you come from the bottom side. So I'm just gonna take this long extension just onto the bottom of the ball joint stud, and it just knocks out like that. Now what you will also wanna do, that I forgot to do, so preface the video with this. So I'm gonna undo the axle nut, because after we drop this knuckle out, you do run the risk of pulling the axle out of the inner joint. So just relieve that a little bit, let the inner joint slack up. So now that we've got it unbolted, the arm's pretty free, it should just pull straight out. Now, as you can see, there's the comparison. This is actually almost 3 pounds heavier than this arm. And we have fixed the issues with the axle where it hits here. So see, we have lots of clearance. When Josiah designed it, he brought this way out here to help clear the axle. So another benefit too is these smooth adjusters, how they're angled down like that. Super easy to adjust this. So I'll show you once I put this in the car. And a trick for installing this is we're gonna install the heim joints first in the car, and then we're just gonna slide the arm onto the smooth adjusters. Make it so easy to put this in, because now the arm's not in the way while you deal with those 2 bolts. Remember, as we said, they are different widths, so this will be your back one, this will be the front one. And now without the arm in there, I can just come in here on the inside with both of them pretty easily and tighten them up. Little trick for putting this in. Even in the OEM ball joint configuration, it's a pain in the butt to put these studs in that are the same dimension, because you have to get the knuckle lined up perfect, then the ball joint. So it's just much easier to put this stud in the knuckle first, and then we'll slide the uniball over the stud. It'll just make the install a lot easier. Because usually they are a pretty snug fit, especially if it's got a little bit of miles on the car. And as you can hear, it bottoms out there. Make sure your bolt lines up. So we're just going to put this put this uniball in this direction to make it easier to slide the stud onto it. Don't forget to put the washers on first. Make sure your speed sensor's on the right side of the stud. Okay, so we're going to set this with the heim joint right in the middle position. It should give us a good starting point to measure our alignment. Make sure my heim joint is straight. Install just like that. Lots of axle clearance. I just got to put the zip ties on for the speed sensor, which we've provisioned 2 holes to run a zip tie through it, and the zip tie will wrap around the little grommet, and everything fits beautifully. We're going to talk about the rear lower control arm. So there's a lot going on here. You can see we've got lots of different holes. We've got our new uniball block with the shim spacer. So I'm just going to explain to you what this arm is, what it does, how to use it, and what the benefits are of it. So we're going to start with, first off, this is a new design that we've got out. A lot of our arms are going to start coming with this. For one, strength is a big one. A lot of the aftermarket arms have an adjustment out here with a heim joint and a jam nut. And especially on an arm where you have the shock on it, you've got the knuckle on it, there's a lot of bending forces on this arm. So to have your adjustment points out here, it's not strong. Grip guys don't like it. Drift guys, still can break. It has a propensity to bend and then make the nut come loose, and then it snaps. So it's not a great design. So this is our new block design, uses shims. Very easy to add a shim. I'll show you later how quick and easy it is to just add shims. It's very accurate. We send shims in varying distances. So you can allow up to about 1 inch of adjustment at this point. So what happens if that's not enough? Well, at this side, at the knuckle, we've actually added some extra holes. So these are 16 millimeters width and height. What this does is it allows the knuckle to actually move up. So you can actually lower the car by just moving this up, and you haven't touched the coilover at all. Because these cars are really bad for these shocks, losing travel as soon as you lower them. Because it's such a compact package, you run the risk of minimizing the amount of shock travel. You need to add helper springs, and this just helps alleviate that, keep your shock travel nice and long. Also, if you run out of room here and you're trying to get maximum camber, extend out the track width, you can add another hole here, so you can remove the shims out here and then move it out another hole to give you better camber, track width, whatever it is that you're trying to gain. Where all these bolts are installed is the factory holes for the control arms. You might ask, what is factory setting? So that is where the factory one would be, factory motion ratio, factory sway bar. So what do? These allow you to change the motion ratio, basically how much force this knuckle can have on this shock. So you can change your spring rates, change the motion ratio, and what you want the suspension to do. This changes your sway bar, changes the stiffness, and you can see these are on different arcs. They're both matched to the arc simulated to where this point is on the sway bar. So not only is there a lot of adjustability, but we've also kept the weight down. The material choice here is 4 times stronger than chromoly. So you'll notice there's no material from here to here. We have a bit of reinforcement in here, but it makes this extremely easy to install because this is a different width than this. We put a bend in here, and we all know if you've done these arms in the factory, the sway bar link is a pain in the butt to put in with the shock, with the knuckle, and get everything to line up without binding. So install on this is extremely easy. Put all the bolts in loosely and then snug it all up. Well, I have changed this bolt here, mainly because the bolt was damaged. You can use all factory hardware for this arm. So it's super easy to install. You're just gonna get the arm, and I'm gonna show you how easy it is to drop a shim in this thing. So super easy, 15 millimeter socket. I'm just gonna go ahead and knock these both off. As you can see, the arm has already started to pull away, and all I'm gonna do is just pull it back, slide in another shim, vice versa. I also want to take shims out. Take all the shims out and just tighten everything back in. Just like that, you've done your adjustment. Super easy. Again, varying thicknesses is what we'll send the arm with. You can really dial in your suspension with this. Extremely strong, lots of adjustability. It doesn't get much better than that. I've done drifting with these cars, I've done road racing with these cars, and I know how much of a pain in the butt it can be to get the rear end alignment in spec to what you want. The factory stuff really minimizes how much adjustability you have. And now that we have an upper, the amount of adjustability and configurability you can have to these cars is phenomenal. So we're gonna talk about our traction arm now. So up at the front here, as many of you know, once you lower these cars, the wheels, with many Subarus, because this traction arm is so short, it does end up moving the wheel in the wheel well, and then you want to be able to adjust that. So we've again got our block and uniball design here. Very easy to get in and adjust, put shims in, remove and add. The base configuration, so we've added it so you can shorten it and lengthen it. So this arm is going to be with no shims in it, will be shorter than the OEM arm. And then obviously you've got, again, about an inch of adjustability to center the wheel well. Not only are these shims interchangeable, but all of the arms that we are going to be selling for all of our product lines will all be using these same shims. So if you have more than one car, more than one set of our arms, one set of shim stack, and you can basically adjust all the arms that we produce with this block design. So nice and simple.
We were able to get in -3 camber in the rear, basically maxing out the upper. And the reason why the upper is important to max out to gain camber is because it's not going to stretch your axles. If you use the lowers to get the camber, then you're going to be extending your axles and risking axle failure. So using the upper is better. So we're testing everything. We're going to throw a GoPro in there. The car's not going to be fast by any means. Still got a welded diff, and it still has an angle kit. So as far as racing goes, it's going to be very happy in the rear and very drifty in all corners. But it'll still be fun.
What? I don't fit.
It's pretty fun. You can almost flat foot most of the corners. It's because it doesn't have enough power. And I had to let a lot of people pass me. Just give them the old...
Need a brake upgrade, I guess. Eh?
Oh, I came in and it's just like looming out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you can smell them.
Oh, it's all I could smell. Stinks. This thing with a couple brake mods and we're gonna roll the rear fender. That'll help.
This thing's been ice drifting, actual drifting, and now driven hard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the rear suspension feels great. Motion ratio's dialed.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I love it. These tires, they stick pretty good once they're warmed up.
what are they?
Just GT radials, the Pro Spec tires.
Are you feeling it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, but it holds it pretty good. Like, if this thing had more power and better brakes, we'd be laughing. That's the only reason, like, when a car passes me, I can actually stay in the corner just as fast as them, but then exiting and then going to brake, there's nothing I can do. And I, like, coming down the straight, I'm braking really hard, and I can tell the brakes are just disappearing quickly. It's bone stock, really old brakes on it. And we don't care about those for drifting. So, no, that was fun. Okay, it needs a bucket seat real bad too. I'm flying around in there.
And your head hits the roof.
Yeah. A bucket seat would honestly do more for the lap time today than anything else. Because my knees are just like pinned against the side. That was fun.